Welcome back, everyone. I'm so thrilled to have you here today. Okay, let's dive into this, because today, our goal in this explainer is to completely pull back the curtain on how self-made wealth is actually generated. We're gonna look way past the myths, the Hollywood stereotypes, and honestly, the standard advice you've probably been spoon-fed your entire life. We're breaking down the actual scientific equation to building extraordinary wealth from absolutely nothing. But first, let's just take a second and look at the reality most of us are dealing with right now. Is wealth just a rigged game? If you're nodding your head right now, trust me, you are not alone. You probably did what you were supposed to do, right? Went to university, got the degree, landed a job, and yet you've likely got this pesky student debt hanging over your head. Your living expenses probably seem ridiculously out of control high, and you might feel totally underpaid. When you look at your credit card bills and then look at millionaires and billionaires, getting rich feels like this totally distant, impossible dream. It is so incredibly easy to come to the harsh conclusion that massive wealth is just an unattainable, rigged system. So to really understand why you feel that way, we need to talk about scale. $1 million. For most people, $1 million is the ultimate benchmark of success. It's the big house, the sports car, paying off the mortgage, traveling the world. I want you to just conceptualize the actual weight of $1 million and hold that picture in your head for a second. Now, contrast that with $1 billion. The sheer scale here is just staggering. It literally makes $1 million look like spare change you'd find in your couch. And when you realize that founders like Jeff Bezos have a net worth well over 100 times this billion-dollar figure, it completely baffles you. Honestly, it might even make you angry. You might be thinking, well, they just got lucky, right? They were born into wealth, or they just cheated their way to the top. Now, what's really interesting about this data is how it completely shatters that whole Hollywood myth. You know how it goes. Hollywood loves to paint the wealthy as entitled, corrupt, or just lucky heirs to these vast fortunes. But a recent report by WealthX looked at the ultra-wealthy. We're talking people with a net worth of $30 million or more, and a massive 68% of them are entirely self-made. Think about it. Howard Schultz, Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk, Sarah Blakely, all self-made. So the vast majority of extreme wealth isn't inherited at all. It is built, which obviously begs the question, what is the actual equation they're using to do it? Section 1. The Flawed Money Equation. Let's really look at why the traditional path you were taught in school is fundamentally failing you. So, the crucial point is the fatal flaw is right here, in the math. In a standard job, the money you earn is strictly tied to the time you put in. Let's say you earn $20 an hour and work 40 hours a week. It takes nearly 24 years just to reach $1 million. And by the way, that 24 years assumes you save every single penny you make. That's without subtracting a dime for taxes, or rent, or food, let alone factoring in inflation, making that $1 million way less valuable over time. By trading your time for a salary, you can really only become a millionaire when you're older, and only by living incredibly frugally. Your precious time just completely slips through your fingers. Plus, here's a hard truth. The market absolutely doesn't care how hard you physically work. In a capitalist society, you're paid in proportion to your perceived value and, honestly, how easily you can be replaced. Think about it. A cleaner sweats and tires himself out every single day, working incredibly hard physically, right? But they earn way less than the accountant, who's just sitting behind a desk. Why? Because the market perceives the cleaner's value to be lower, since the job is easy to learn and they can be replaced tomorrow. The accountant, on the other hand, spent years studying complex tax codes and saves their clients thousands of dollars. Higher perceived value equals higher pay. It's that simple. So if you truly want to build wealth in a short amount of time, you need a massive mindset shift, and it's this. Stop chasing money, chase problems. Literally, if you've been chasing money, you've been doing it backwards this whole time. You shouldn't be looking for dollar bills. You need to be looking for problems, and more importantly, the solutions to those problems. And this brilliantly illustrates that paradigm shift we need. On one side, we have the doomed traditional path, where money just equals a salary from a job. It's a two-dimensional trap. But on the other side, that is the actual wealth-generating formula used by self-made billionaires. Wealth equals perceived value plus problem solving. All money flows from this one basic premise. If a solution solves a major problem, money will absolutely be thrown at it. Section 2. The Real Wealth Equation. Now that we've completely tossed out the old rulebook, we are perfectly positioned to learn the exact formula for scaling your value. Okay, so here is exactly how you execute it step by step. First, you've got to find a market problem. You need to listen to the market, what's frustrating people, what is incredibly inconvenient for them. Second, create a genuinely valuable solution to that problem. Here's the kicker. If it's $1 million problem, the solution will make you millions. If it's $1 billion problem, Well, the solution will make you billions. Think about Amazon. They solved the massive hassle of driving to a physical store, waiting in long lines, and overpaying. Jeff Bezos solved a literal billion-dollar problem. And third, you absolutely must build a scalable business around that solution. Let's just pause on that third step for a second, because scaling your solution is absolutely critical. You cannot find infinite scale with a traditional job. And frankly, you can't find it with certain types of businesses either. Take a local restaurant, for example. It's completely constrained to its local area and the foot traffic of one specific street. It just doesn't scale well. But a piece of software, once that's built, it can be scaled infinitely online without you having to worry about extra production or shipping costs. A franchise model is highly scalable too. The point is, your solution needs to have the potential to reach a massive magnitude of people. You also have to be really, really careful that your solution doesn't require your direct time to generate money. Take a yoga teacher. Even if they charge a premium, like $100 an hour, their income is still completely time-bound by how many physical classes they can realistically teach in a single day. In that case, they haven't built a business. They've just created another job disguised as a business. But if they create an online yoga program that runs 24/7, lessons they only had to film one single time, they've effectively decoupled their income from their time. That is what a scalable business looks like. Now, to actually maintain that kind of scale, you have to step out of the day-to-day operations. Systems and automation are exactly what will keep your business running like a smooth machine. Look, if you can outsource something or hire an employee to do it and it makes financial sense, you absolutely must do it. Trying to do everything yourself is terrible for scale. You also kind of have to check your ego at the door here. It doesn't matter if you think you're the absolute best at a certain task, someone else can do it better, or at least well enough. And perhaps the harshest pill to swallow, you might need to ignore your passions. The market literally does not care what you're passionate about. It only cares that you are providing a solid solution to its problem. So let's move forward and see how this builds up. Once you have a profitable, automated business that's solving a major problem, you're going to hit a crossroads. Do you keep running it, or do you cash in? This is what's known as the liquidation event. Think about Instagram getting acquired by Facebook for $1 billion, or PayPal being sold to eBay for $1.5 billion. This is the ultimate payoff. It's where all that upfront effort completely comes to fruition, generating massive, life-changing wealth in a single defining moment. But let's just take a step back for a minute as we start to wrap this up. What was all this really for? Because for most of you, it was actually never about the money itself. Money is just a piece of paper. It's just a number on a screen. True wealth is a feeling. It's a sensation. It's the ultimate freedom to reclaim your time, to finally pay off that mortgage, to never again have to ask yourself, can I afford to pursue my dreams? It is the absolute freedom to live your life without financial worry. And that brings us to the most important lesson of this entire explainer. It's all about the one incredibly valuable resource that we all share, the one resource we will absolutely never be able to reclaim: our time. Settling for the standard rat race, working a job you dislike, coming home to watch TV, sleeping, and repeating that cycle until retirement, means you are literally letting the finite hours of your life slip through your fingers for a system you don't even enjoy. So if you have that burning desire to never worry about money again, then let solving problems be the meaningful struggle in your life. Stop chasing money and start chasing solutions. I want to leave you with this final, incredibly important thought. What dreams will you pursue when time is finally yours? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning the equations you've been taught, and I'll see you next time.